Canola School on realagriculture.com is brought to you by Alberta Canola Producers Commission, Sask Canola, and Manitoba Canola Growers.
Joining us here on Real Agriculture, we have Brian Innes, Vice President of Government Relations with the Canola Council of Canada. And Brian, the Council has put forward a recommendation to growers to not use quinclorac herbicide on their canola in 2016. This issue came up last year in 2015. Why put forward this recommendation?
Yes, the Canola Council has a policy to only support the use of pesticides that don't result in concerns in our major markets. And upon consultation, continuous consultation with the exporters and processors and understanding the market dynamics in our major markets, it's clear to us that the use of quinclorac could cause concerns with our major customers, and therefore we're advising growers not to use that until we have more certainty that using quinclorac on their canola won't cause problems in major markets like China.
Okay, I was going to say China is the main concern here for that.
It is. There's significant uncertainty around whether canola treated with quinclorac would meet the requirements of the Chinese government. What we know is that when we use quinclorac on canola, it results in residues, the majority of the time, residues in canola seed, residues in canola oil, and canola meal, and that there is no tolerance level established for quinclorac on canola in China, and no tolerance level established internationally through the Codex, which is an organization from the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations as well as the World Health Organizations. So that means that with this uncertainty, it's really could create a lot of risk for our exports to meet the requirements of China.
So from what I understand, though, growers in the past Canadian farmers have used quinclorac. What has changed?
It's a very good question, Kelvin, and I think what we're seeing across the world, and not just in grains or canola, but in other commodities as well, is a lot more sensitivity to pesticide residues. So sensitivity on the consumer side, but also on the government side as well, where regulations are changing, and there's a lot more testing and a lot more sensitive testing going on than what happened, say, 10 or 15 years ago. So we, as a country that exports 90% of what we produce for canola, need to meet the requirements of our customers. Without them, we don't have a market, and there's no value in canola for Canadian growers or anyone else. So the requirements of our customers have changed both at the consumer level, but also from a government level in places like China and Korea and Japan.
Okay. So moving this file forward, what happens next, or what's the Canola Council doing to address this, or is there something that's happening, I guess?
It's a good question. So we as a Canola Council try to coordinate amongst the value chain to ensure that there's clear communication and really work towards encouraging responsible commercialization. So it's the owners of the pesticide who are responsible and have the opportunity to make sure that it has the right maximum residue limit tolerances in our key export markets. So we understand that that process is underway through the Codex internationally, and we as a value chain support them when we can.
So in the meantime, you make sure growers understand the MRLs and those issues.
Exactly. So our role is really to try and work to encourage responsible commercialization from the life science companies who own the pesticides and market the pesticides, to help growers understand what we need to do to meet export requirements and to ensure coordination amongst the whole value chain, including exporters and processors, so there's clear communication on what the risks are and what we need to do to meet the requirements of our customers.
All right. Thanks for your time, Brian.
My pleasure.